Einstein theory of relativity, second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love, and you too can be that servant. We need to give her a round of applause for service alone. Because not everybody wants to serve, most people want to be served. And so I'm thinking about, Dr. Dorothy Heights once said, black women, they seldom do what they want to, but they always do what they have to. Powerful statement. Dr. Janetta Cole once said, you can educate a man, you educate an individual, you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Powerful statement. Yusuf Ben Jakanan said the best about you. He said, she's dipped in chocolate. She's bronzed in elegance. Enameled in grace, toasted in beauty, my Lord, she must be a black woman. And Franklin Delano Roosevelt had to be talking about you when he said, a woman is like a tea bag, you never know how strong she is until you put in hot water. Had to be talking about you. And then I read one of the most interesting quotes that said, to be born female is a matter of birth, to be a woman is a matter of age, but to be a lady is a matter of choice. Had to be talking about you. And so this poem is for you, and it's simply entitled, It. When she walked into the room, there was something very special about her. Something really unique. Not the kind of special you see as strange or weird or that she's some sort of, you see, she had what we would call it. And her it is extraordinary. It's got us tripping, I must admit. What is it? Well, I'm glad you asked, but let me suggest something, fellas. If you ever see it and it's available, do yourself a favor, make her your wife. You see, it is confidence. It's an air, it is pride. It knows how to handle adversity. It takes things in stride. Now I'm talking about it. It cannot be inherited, nor is it willed, and it's not genetic. Just because your mother had it, doesn't mean that it will grace you. I promise you, I've seen some ladies live who thought they had it and they didn't have a clue. Now I'm still talking about it. It knows when to speak and it knows when not to say a word. It is like Dom Perignon or Godiva chocolate. You see, it is preferred. It knows which fork to use. It frequents plays. It doesn't raise hell. Instead, it chooses to pray. You see, when she smiles, you see it. When she laughs, you hear it. When she tells you something, you believe it. When she hurts, you feel it. When she dances, you want to move with it. You see, a man wants to love it. He wants to hold it. He wants to cherish it. He wants to protect it. He want to hit. I'm sorry, every real man got carried with knows his life is incomplete without it. You see, for it, she is the prototype. It's like she doesn't walk, she glides and around. It is this light now. You can't find it in a special section of the store. You can't order it offline, and trust me, there'll be no articles about it from the press. But one thing for sure, fellas, it sure knows how to wear a sundress. It can't be defined by height, age, shape, color, size, or any of those things. It could be single, divorced, it might be wearing a ring. You see, it is all or none. You can't have just a little bit of it. It is classy, sophisticated, and elegant. You tell me the way she stands and the way she sits. How many ladies in here believe you have it like a lady? Raise your hand. Put your hands down because they cannot be claimed. It is humble, it doesn't even have it, and it is just that plain. Now there's no class or seminar you can take for it, and you can't study it in the manual. It is not a membership-based club. You can't pledge for it. And there's no fees to be renewed annually. It is a lot of things. But it gives more than it takes. Well, all that it is, one thing, you can't fake it. That piece is for you, Liz. That piece is something entitled. And fellas, you can never make an ain't an it. I'm just let y'all know that you can never make an ain't. If she ain't got it, you can't make her have it. That's just, it ain't gonna happen. I'm touched by what you're doing because, George Washington Carver said, how far we go in life depends on us being tender to the aged, sympathetic to the weak, tolerant to the strong, because at some point of our lives, we'd have been all of them. And I'm really touched by it because, lost my sister to breast cancer. David and I, we shared that, talking about cancer and cancer being in our family. I never forget when my father passed and he was sick, and I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I was on my way to Jayville, that's right, Duval County. Jenkins, you know, barbecue, that's right, Jenkins barbecue. But anyway, I was on my way to bury my father. And I took 75 south into I-10. And I was driving about 75 miles, no, about 85, kind of flirting with 90, right? And I hit this thunderstorm, true story, I hit this thunderstorm. And I dropped my speed down to about 60 miles per hour because I couldn't see. About 55, 50 miles per hour because I couldn't see, true story. 45, 40 miles per hour because I couldn't see. 35, 30 miles per hour because I couldn't see. It was raining, it was pouring down rain. And you know how you see people pull to the side of the road? I was determined not to stop, and I dropped my speed down a little bit further, about 25, 20 miles per hour, 15, 10 miles per hour. Cars were passing me, they were splashing water on my windshield wipers, and I was praying that my windshield wipers wouldn't give up on me. Dropped my speed down to about 5 miles per hour. I rode for 5 miles per hour for about 30 minutes. All of a sudden, I came out of that thunderstorm. Do you know the sun was as bright as I'd ever seen it before? The birds were flying as high as I'd ever seen them fly. The sky was as blue as I'd ever seen it. And it seems as if it was at that very moment God said, just think of all those people who stopped back in the middle of that storm. So I ended up writing a piece called, Why Would You Stop in the Middle of a Storm? And I don't know if you're in a storm right now. I don't know if you just came out of a storm. Or maybe you don't even know you're getting ready to approach one, but please don't stop. And this poem says, the skies are dark as the rain continues to fall. As cars pull to the side of the road, I begin to wonder, why would you stop in the middle of a storm? Now the bills are coming and the money's not. The air conditioning's broken. Must I tell you it's hot? Well, don't throw your hands up and say, I can't go on. Tell me, why would you stop in the middle of a storm? Now you're sick and the doctor said you won't get well, where there's no need to drop your head and moan. Again, that's the time you call on the Lord and ask the question, why would you stop in the middle of a storm? You see, there's only one way to go through a storm. You just say a prayer and you keep pressing on. You press for the mark because the prize is already yours. May I make a suggestion, my friends? Never stop in the middle of a storm. So when your days are dark and your days are long, just pick up the word, hide in your bosoms, but never, my friends, should you stop in the middle of a storm. Because believe it or not, there is something good about weathering your storms. Once you reach your final destination, the Lord's going to hold out his hands. He's going to welcome us all home. So never should you ever, never but ever, never should you, my friends, but ever should you ever, anybody ever but ever stop in the middle of a storm. And that poem is called Why Would You Stop in the Middle? And I always say, if you never come face to face with the devil, you and him must be heading in the same direction. So don't get mad if you run into the devil, because that's what Christians are supposed to do. You're supposed to run in front of him. I'm going to do a piece that I know she likes. It's a piece that's called I'm Ready. And every woman want to hear a man's, she don't want to have to coach him into it. She want him to be ready when he approaches that situation. She don't want to have to tell him to be ready. She want to know that he's ready. And this poem is one of my favorites now, and hopefully I can remember. A meta point, a point I must admit I've never been before. Didn't think much about being in love in the past. You see, looking at others' love always seemed like a chore. But now I'm ready. I'm ready to be one woman's man. I'm ready to be committed. Give her my last name. I'm ready to take her hand. I'm ready to share cold nights in front of warm fires in the spring, early morning strolls. I'm ready to count candlelit dinners and movies at dawn. I'm ready for that special one. The one we both know our roles. I'm ready for weekends in the mountains and getting up, going to church together on Sunday morning. I'm ready for those intimate moments, the ones when we both are. I'm ready to laugh. And only in happiness will I ever make her cry, because you see, the woman I'm ready to love, she always leaves me high. I'm ready for Thanksgiving, Valentine's, Christmas, and birthdays. I'm ready to profess my love for her and then show her in unique ways, like heating her towel as she's exiting the shower, like finding some of the most incredible flowers, like planning getaways in our home, like texting her lyrics lines to romantic movies and love poems. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to be that man that we make wishes together while we're watching shooting stars. I'm ready to take care of her, so much so that she can't remember the last time she washed, got a tune-up, and put gas in her own car. Help her with her, do the dishes after we both prepare dinner together. I'm just excited because now I have someone to watch the weather. You see, with her, I'm hoping for snow, and I'm praying for rain, thanking God because his actions won't be in vain. I'm ready for the woman that will match more than just on paper. Our love is off the chart. You see, she gets me. We support each other through thick and thin. I love her with my head and my heart. Shit, I'm ready for that woman that we can go to the farmer's market. Shit, I'm ready for that sister. We got burns from the carpet. You see, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, like Freddie, like Eddie, like Teddy. Did I tell you I'm ready? I'm excited about the possibilities. I'm excited about the future. Can't say I've ever experienced those feelings being mutual. I'm ready. And if sickness rears its old ugly head, and if money is low and all we have is cheese and bread, I'm ready for the woman that we have so much love, so much trust that on the table unlock, we both leave our phones. Our relationship is like Heathcliff and Claire, Michelle and Barack. You see, our love is in its own. And she will be my one and only. Above my family, my friends, and anything that crawls, swims, walks, or flies. She's second only to God. Did I tell you, this woman leads me high. I'm ready to be her confidant, her protector. Shit, I'm ready to be her big daddy. I'd be whatever she needs, a mechanic, a doctor, and if she's playing golf, I would be her cat. I'm ready for violins, cellos, symphonies, and plays. I'm ready to be the example of love that leads everyone in a daze. Oh, I gotta find her. Because I'm sure she's out there preparing herself, especially for me. And when I find my queen, without hesitation, I'm down on one knee. Because I'm ready for it. I'm ready for love. The piece is called I'm Ready. And I'm going to sit down on this last piece. How many sisters in here like chocolate? Okay. How many of you all know that chocolate is good for your health? Okay. How many of you all know the darker the chocolate, the better it is for your health? And that's medically proven. Don't get mad at me, light-skinned brother. That's medical. That's medical. That's what it is. I mean, it's medical. So don't get mad at me. So this piece is for all the sisters who like chocolate. I know why you don't feel good, sweetheart. It's because you need a little bit of chocolate. Chocolate can improve your circulation. It can feed that craving and that temptation. Girl, what you really need is a little bit of chocolate. It can lower your blood pressure. Or it might take it off the chart. It can soothe you on a night that's hot. But girl, what you really need is a little bit of chocolate. Now, study shows chocolate has other health benefits. I can't prove it, but I'm sure it's that chocolate that gives you a burst of energy in the middle of the night that just won't allow you to quit. Girl, what you really need is a little bit of chocolate. Now, the doctor says chocolate is good for your heart. Now, the doctor says chocolate is good for your heart. That white chocolate is okay, but for maximum strength, you better find you some chocolate that's dark. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.